So tonight you will learn the best, easiest investment decision of your life. So, you know, these days, employer-defined pension plans are pretty rare. They're becoming even rarer. They're almost non-existent anymore. And who knows about Social Security? You know, Social Security's in a lot of trouble. So have you thought about what you're going to do in your retirement? Have you prepared, thought about, Ken, have you thought about what you're going to do for your retirement? You got it fixed?
Got it figured
All
out.
set? So most people these days have 401ks or IRAs, and if you don't have one or the other, you should have one. I have actually both. If your employer offers you a 401k, then you should take advantage of it, and if they don't offer one, you should have an IRA. When you put money into one of these accounts, it's the money you put in is actually tax deductible in that you don't pay taxes on that money. It's subtracted from your income, so you don't pay taxes on it. So part of that investment is actually funded by your tax savings. So whether you have one of these accounts or even just a personal investment account, what do you do with that money? What do you do with that money in that account? There's so many options out there. There's stocks and bonds and options and futures and Bitcoin. I mean, how do you decide what you're going to do? So everyone's familiar with the Dow Jones stock index. It's known as the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The industrial is kind of an anachronism. The Dow goes all the way back to 1896 when it was first invented. So it's really not many industrials. In those 30 stocks, the Dow is 30 stocks. It's always been used as a benchmark for how well the stock market's doing. But it's not really industrial anymore. GE, General Electric, one of the original members of the Dow 30 from 1896, got booted out of the Dow this week, as a matter of fact, replaced with Walgreens, a Chicago company. But there's another stock market index called the Standard & Poor's 500, sometimes called the S&P 500. Traders call it the SPOOS, and they come up with that because you've got in the S&P 500 and the SP 00, the SPOOS. So traders are really a bunch. So the S&P 500 measures 500 stocks. So you have 500 stocks, large company stocks in the S&P 500. So it's a much broader, a bit bigger array of stocks. And the S&P 500, because it's so much bigger and broader, it's really kind of taken the place of the Dow 30 as a measure of how well the stock market's doing. You know the names in the S&P 500. It's Amazon, it's AT&T, Google, Facebook, those kind of names are in the S&P 500. So really it's the S&P 500 today. And so one of the best investment choices, one of the smartest choices you can make for yourself today is to buy a S&P 500 index fund. Even Warren Buffett, the legendary investor, has said that for most Americans, the smartest investment you can make is a low-cost stock index fund, and he's pointed out that the S&P 500 fund, it makes it a smart choice for most people, gives you the opportunity to participate in the growth of American business. In fact, the S&P 500, since it was first established in 1928, the average return on the S&P 500 has been about 10%. 10%, I think you would agree, that's a pretty marvelous return. There's really no other investment out there that's had that kind of return over that long a period of time. And one of the good things about the S&P 500 is it's easy to find. It's in the newspaper every day. You can open up the Chicago Tribune. It's on the second page of the business section. It's there. You can Google and you can find out how the S&P 500 has done over the last week or the last month or the last 10 years. It's a very easy index to find, and it's easy to track if you're invested in the S&P 500. It's easy to find what it's done today, how well your investment's doing. So just about every mutual fund family, such as Vanguard, Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, just about everybody offers S&P 500 index fund. What the fund does is it goes out and it buys the 500 stocks that are in the S&P 500. So when you buy an S&P index fund, you own those 500 stocks. So you're now invested in 500 different companies. Now, typically, when you're looking through a list of of mutual funds. And sometimes if you're like you're in a 401k or an IRA or whoever it is you're investing with, they'll give you a list of funds you can invest in. Usually you'll find that S&P 500 fund listed under large cap stocks. And a large cap is short for large capitalization. Capitalization is how much the company's worth. So the kind of easy way to think of it is the share price times the number of shares out there gives you the value of the company. A large capitalization stock is generally considered over $10 billion. So when you're buying these 500 stocks, you're buying 500 big companies all at one smack, all at one time. You're buying these 500 companies. So the S&P 500, if you own it, it's an easy investment to find. It's listed everywhere. You're diversified, so you don't have all your eggs in one basket. You don't have to buy one stock. You actually own 500 different stocks. And it's got a great return, 10% over the last 90 years. So if you want to do yourself a favor, make it as easy as possible on yourself and make the best investment decision of your life. Make it easy and just buy a spoon.